Welcome in, guys. Here we're going to learn a paradiddle funk beat. So, you know, if you've seen any of my stuff before, you know that I like taking rudiments and breaking them down, simplifying them, and then turning them into something creative. That's the whole, that's the whole fun of rudiments, is to come out with something creative, not just be a boring old exercise. So today we're going to get funky. And we're going to do this. My sort of inspiration here is David Garibaldi. So if you don't know David Garibaldi, check him out. Tower of Power, like awesome funk drummer. And I love the way he displaces snares. So we're going to do that today. We're going to mess around with a snare accent. So rather than the normal 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to mess them up a little bit. We're going to put them in different places. So the way I approach this, but I grabbed the sheet music from the link below so you can get it there as well. The way I approached this was to just break down each of your 4 beats. We're in 4/4, so we've got 4 quarter notes. I'll turn them into 16th notes. So we've got 4 16th notes in each beat. So then I'll look at the paradiddle and look at how I can invert it. So obviously standard paradiddle is right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. But you can invert that, right, left, left, right, or right, right, left, right, or right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right. So there's different ways you can invert it. So just using the paradiddle, we can mix it around. And once we do that, it creates different phrasings, which allows us to put the accent on the snare, that backbeat, in different places. And that's what we've got today. And that's what you heard me playing at the beginning, is a messed up beat with interesting accent placements. And you might have perceived it as, you might have struggled to hear beat 1 because there was no real reference of like, here's 2 and 4 on the snare. So it might have felt a bit off kilter and a bit odd. And that can work really well. It can create some really funky stuff. And that's why I reference David Garibaldi and the Grooves and Tower of Power as one example of a band and a drummer that does this really, really well. So let's grab that sheet music and we're going to break this down 1 beat at a time. Okay, so just looking at beat 1, 1, E and A. So what we're going to do is we're going to play bass and hi-hat, snare, snare, bass and hi-hat. And those snares are soft. Right, I haven't written them with the brackets around them, but the ones that are loud have got the arrow above them. That's saying that's an accent. So all the other snares, we're going to play them as ghost notes. So nice and slow, this goes. Okay, that's it. Super easy. And if you break it down and slow it down, anyone can learn this. If you heard it at the beginning and thought, wow, that's quite complex, I can't play that, you definitely can. It's just breaking it down and slowing it down. So practice beat 1 for as long as you need to. Get it to the point where you're not really thinking about it anymore and it starts to pick up a bit of speed and starts to flow nicely. Assuming you're there, let's move on to beat 2. So what we're going to do here is go hi-hat, accented snare, hi-hat, and then bass and hi-hat. So let's do it slow. That's it. It's that easy. All right. So let's move straight on to beat number 3. So here we're going to go snare, snare, bass and hat, snare. First 2 snares been soft, ghost notes, snare, snare, bass and hat. Then the last snare, poof, accent. You can see the arrow above it. So that's the loud one. All right, then last up, beat 4. Now this one, strictly speaking, is not a paradiddle. I mean, this whole groove, you could find whatever you want there. You could find 6-stroke rolls. You could probably find, I don't know, double paradiddles, whatever. You know, there's different ways you can break this up. I've approached it from a perspective of using the paradiddles. But this last bit, I was trying different paradiddle versions, and in the end I thought, this flows quite well, just doing right, right, left, left. Just double strokes. Right, right on the hi-hat, left, left as ghost note snares. And with the first right hand on that hi-hat, I'm going to do a bass. Okay, so like this. Okay, you've learnt the whole groove. That is it. Okay, so practice each stage as much as you want to. Now we're going to put it together. You could put this together in smaller chunks. So you could put like beat 1 and 2 together and practice that. You could put beats 3 and 4 together and practice that. I'm just going to go and just put the whole beat together slowly, just so you can hear it, okay? So it's up to you how you want to build this up. Obviously, it needs to be a gradual process until, so you're not really thinking about it, so it sits nicely and flows nicely. But let's just try it now. You can try it with one. I'm going to go super slow through the whole bar. Okay, so there you have the whole bar. Now, I don't know if you could hear it at that speed, or maybe at the beginning you might have heard it, but a little happy accident happened with this one because the bass drum placements, where I just kind of felt them, well, and by the way, this thing here, right, this is just a really fun way of approaching grooves to create something a little bit less predictable. So for me, the starting point was thinking David Garibaldi, Tower of Power, and Paradiddles. And with them, I could just reorder the notes, do different paradiddle inversions, see where the accents then would fall within that phrasing, and then I just kind of see where would the bass drums work. And it's just a bit of trial and error. You might put them somewhere and think, I'm not feeling that. What if I put a bass over here? And you can just create beats, like new beats all the time that sound really unique and really interesting with this method. Okay, so it's just one example. But the bass drum pattern I fell upon here just so turns out to be a rumba clave. So any of you guys that like your Cuban rhythms and your claves, the rumba clave is going 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2. So it's that kind of rumba clave vibe that happened on the bass drum. So you've got these kind of really interesting syncopated snare accents, and then underneath it all a rumba clave. So I don't know, you could call this kind of rumba Cuban funk. I've called it paradiddle funk. Whatever you want, there's different stuff chucked in, but hopefully you understand that kind of concept, that approach, that method I've used to create this beat. And if you dig this beat, then it's it's a fun beat, it's really cool, and you can go and create a whole bunch of your own beats with this exact same process. Just trial and error, have a few parameters. So for me, it was the paradiddle thing. And then just create some really interesting, cool grooves. That's your challenge. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm just going to play out now. I'm just going to build the speed up so you can hear this again at a kind of tempo where you might want to dance to it if you're watching a funk band. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this beat. Click subscribe because there's loads more coming to this channel. Grab the sheet music below, and if you want to watch some more drumming, check out this video as well.